Hello and welcome to this session on exception handling in Java. I'm Raghav and today we are going to go very basic step by step and see what is exception handling and how do you implement exception handling in a Java project. So let's get started and let us understand what is exception handling, and before that we need to understand what is an exception. So an exception is any unexpected condition or behavior during execution of your program, and exception handling is handling this unexpected condition or behavior during execution. So in exception handling we catch the exception or the error and then log the messages for troubleshooting. Exception handling also enables us to continue to our other test. In case there is a failure in one test, it can handle the exception and then continue our testing. So this is what exception handling is all about. And if I go to Google and search for exception handling, and I will go to images. So let me just show you some images. So yeah, let us see this. So here you can see we have some code here, and in case there is any error or any exception during runtime, actually it should not be an error but an exception, and I will tell you the difference. So if there is any exception here, it should be cached here. So we have a try block here, all the code is inside a try block, and then in the catch block we can handle the exception. So this is how we can handle these exceptions, and I will tell you practically. So let us look at a very quick and simple practical example. I will go to my Eclipse, and here I have this project. So I will create a new class in one of my packages. So I will go to my source main Java package and create a new class here, and I will name this as exception handling demo and say finish. And I'm going to create a main method, so I will say main and press Ctrl space bar to autocomplete, and I have got this main method. And here I can write anything. So let's say I say s5so, I will press Ctrl space bar to autocomplete system.out.println, and here I am saying hello world, and then I'm again printing out a statement here, completed. Now this is a very simple program. If I try to run this, I will do a right click, run as Java application. It's very simple. It is just printing hello world and completed here. But let's just say during this execution in between we have some statement that is throwing some exception. So I will deliberately create a statement. I will say int I equals 1 divided by 0. Now here you will not get any compile time errors, but of course you will get an exception here. So let us see what happens. If I try to run this now, I will just hit this run button, and do you see what happens? It printed hello world, but then there was an exception and the execution stopped. So now we have to handle this so that it does not stops abruptly. So for that what we will do is we can create a try block here. I will say try and curly braces start, and then curly braces stop here, and all my code I will just put inside my try block here. And a try block has to be followed by a catch or finally block. So I will say catch. So here I can catch the exception. Now here you can have multiple catch blocks. So I can have one catch block or I can have multiple catch blocks. For example, I can have one more catch block here, but for now let us go with one catch block, and here I can handle the exception. So I will say here exception, and I can give any name exp. Okay, so I'm giving this name, and here you can handle any exception. So for example, I can say IU exception here, and then I can give this or arithmetic exception, and then you can have multiple catch blocks to catch multiple types of exception, but for now I'm just saying exception. And now here whenever there will be any exception, the control will come to the catch block, and here you can print anything. So I will say I am inside catch block. Okay, now see, if I run this now, do you see there was no error? It very cleanly came to the catch block. It printed hello world, and in this statement on this line there was an exception, so it came to catch block and printed this. But we have not yet troubleshooted our exception. So for that, what you can do is you can say exp, which is our variable here, this one, and then if you say dot, you can say get message, and you can actually print it out on the console. So I will just print it out, exp.get message, and I can also say here message is and exp.get message, and similarly I can also say I can print out get cause. So I will copy paste this, and here I will say cause is exp.get cause. Okay, I have to put a plus sign for concatenation. Okay, and now if I run this, do you see it is saying messages divide by 0 and there is no cause. And if you want, you can also print the entire stack trace. So you can say exp dot print stack trace. So if I run this now, you can see it is printing the message, and then it is also printing the entire stack trace. It will give you the line. So if you click here, you can see it is taking us to the line that caused the exception. And then you can also have a finally block. So finally block will always execute irrespective of an exception or not, and here you can write any code that you want to be executed irrespective of any exception or not. So here you can say I am inside finally block. So if I run this now, let me just save this. You can see we had an exception, so it came to the catch block, but then finally block was also executed. Now the other thing about exceptions is you can also throw your exception. So for example, if I copy this entire code and cut it from here, and here I will create a new function, public static void demo, and I will put this inside this function, and in our main function I will just call this demo function. Okay, and I'm not putting any try catch block here in this new function, and not even the finally block. So take care that the try, let me just show you again. Try block has to be followed by one or multiple catch blocks or a finally block. So even if you do not give a catch block but there is a finally block, even then it is fine, and there should not be any statements between try catch or try finally blocks. Okay, so this you have to take care, and I'm just deleting all the try catch finally here, and let me just show you. So here you can see this is now a very simple program as we had earlier, and here we have a separate function and it is being called from main function. Now in case you do not want to catch or handle the exception in this particular function, you can also throw it. So I can say here in the method signature itself, I can say throws, and whatever exception you want to throw. So you can say exception or IO exception or any kind of exception. So what will happen is this exception, whenever it will occur, it will not be handled here, but it will be thrown to the calling function, which is main. Now you can see as soon as I added throws exception, it is getting a error in the main function, and if I hover over it, you can see it is saying add throws declaration or surround with try catch. So now in the calling function again, either I should throw it or I should use the try catch here. So now here I will use the try catch, and I can, you can see we have now used a try catch here. So if I run this now, exception will come here, but it will not be handled here. It will be thrown to the calling function, which is main, and it will be handled here. So I can run this now again, and you can see it is handled here in the main function. Okay, so this was a very simple example, and these are the keywords in exception handling. We have seen try, catch, finally, throws, and there is also a keyword throw. So sometimes if you deliberately want to throw an exception, you can say throw, and if I say throw, let me say arithmetic exception, and I will give some message here, not valid operation, So I'm just throwing this exception. Let me just also, yeah, I have to say throw new arithmetic exception. And here, okay, so because this is now throwing it here, so this code becomes unreachable. So let me just show you this example. I will run this now, and you see we are getting arithmetic exception not valid operation, and this is something I have thrown myself using the throw keyword. So you can deliberately throw an exception using the throw keyword. So that was all about exception handling. Let us do a very quick recap. We learned exception handling in Java and how to implement exception handling in your project. So also now if you see your any of your Selenium code, so for example let me show you. For example, this is our Selenium code. So what you can do is in your every of your test you can surround it with try, catch and finally block, and then similarly whenever there will be any error or any exception during runtime, that will be thrown or that will be handled. So that for example if you are finding a particular element and that element is not being able to found, or that element is not visible, or the code is not able to find that particular element, it will be cached and you can troubleshoot it accordingly. Also let me just show you. If you see here, you can see the superclass is object in Java and throwable is the superclass for exception. So throwable has error and exception. We cannot handle error in Java because errors are like out of memory or stack overflow, so we cannot handle that, but exceptions we can handle, and there are runtime exceptions, checked exceptions. So I'm not going into too many details here, but this is what the hierarchy of exception is. Okay, so I hope this session was very useful for you. If you like the session, please hit the like button and share with everyone, and don't forget to subscribe to this channel. Hit the subscribe button and hit the bell icon so that you can keep receiving new videos from this channel. I will meet you in the next episode. Thank you for watching.